Everybody, and welcome to 4K for You. We are back on what we are calling episode 63. I'm sure I screwed up the episode count at some point, but I really don't care at this point.
Just skip to episode 69.
You know,
so we can make that joke.
I kind of think that's what I was doing, is just getting to 69, and then from here on out, I'll just put the date on it. So
that works.
Like, what's the point? But hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. Well, thank you for joining us. We have with us tonight Fanzine Greg. How you doing, Greg?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Back on 4K for You with Valiant and Tom and this wonderful chatting audience, ready to talk some physical media.
Yes, we're glad to have you back. We also have Valiant Renegade. How you doing?
Doing good. Good to be back. It's live at 5 somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's right. So welcome to the program, kids. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We've got Lance Corporal Waffles here. I see RJ Godzilla. I see Rick Johnson here. I see Daryl Brewer. I see Eldritch Lord Hester. Unacceptable Views. The Third Turd. There's a good name.
The Third Turd.
The Third Turd. Duck Nation. Kona Blend. Kona Blend. Am I reading it right? Kona Blend 36. Hello. We got Cool Gamer, Coffee Lover, so many more here. Hit the like button, share out the link, let everybody know we're live. I see Steven swinging around that wrench. I see FKHC. I see Scott Hughes, Coach O'Dragon, Morgan King, some early rivals, Nick S., Juan Carlos. Welcome one and all. We got Baza the Great. That's a new one.
Nice.
Welcome to the program. Cheese Factors here. How you guys doing? We got Chod. Is that how you say that? Chod 90 Febrero.
Well, it ain't chode.
As I say, I don't think that's chode. Maybe not. Entertainment Wizard. Some new faces here. I like that. Iron Wolf. Thunder Duck is here. That's a classic face. We all know Thunder Duck. We got EW Glick. That's a new face. Welcome. Richard B. Thank you for coming, guys. So we took the week off last week, but we've got some news and rumors for you. If you want to break into that, let's do it. We can. Hello there, and welcome to your 4K for You news and rumors for the week of August 16th, 2023. Looks like Sony will be releasing The Way We Were in time for the 50th anniversary on October 17th, 2023. Criterion has a nice slate coming up here. You can expect The Last Picture Show in 4K on November 14th. Jackie Chan has a 4-disc Blu-ray set, including the movies Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu, Fearless Hyena Part 2, Young Master, and My Lucky Stars. Also coming on the 21st of November from Criterion, you can get Mean Streets in 4K and Days of Heaven in 4K coming soon. Megan will be hitting 4K on October 10th, and there's a look at the Steelbook. Speaking of Steelbooks, here's a look at the Mantelab exclusive 4K Steelbook for The Flash. You can expect that on the 27th of October. Speaking of October, you can expect the Pumpkinhead Best Buy 4K Steelbook, as you see here, around the same date as Scream Factory's release. Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai will also be getting a steelbook on the 19th of October. The Mist will also get a 4K exclusive steelbook on the 3rd of October. There's a look at that. We get a god-awful, ugly Universal Monsters collection containing all the 4K releases to date on October 3rd of this year. It Came From Outer Space is getting a 4K restoration and collector's edition on the 3rd of October from Universal. Elemental will get a Best Buy steelbook as well on the 26th of September. There's a look at that. Memento is getting a steelbook on the 25th of September from 101 Films. It, The Terror from Beyond, is getting a 65th anniversary Blu-ray special edition on the 24th of October from Kino Lorber. Speaking of Kino Lorber, we'll also get the Red Dragon 4K on that same day from them. The Challenge also comes on the 31st of October from Kino Lorber on Blu-ray. Speaking of Blu-rays and Halloween, American Ninja 1 and 2 will also bow on that day, as well as a re-release of Enter the Ninja with a higher bitrate. That, of course, has already been released by Kino Lorber before, but a bit of a upgrade there. Sneakers is also coming soon from Kino Lorber. No date yet on that yet, but it will get a 4K scan, as will Two Mules for Sister Sarah. No date on that yet from Kino Lorber, but it's expected later this year. In the rumor mill, we got The Naked Gun coming in November from Paramount, as well as There Will Be Blood. Chinatown looks like it might be getting announced soon from Arrow. And Body Double is also looking to be released this October from Sony. That's your news and rumors. See you on the show. There you go. And I get a free ad from the Grand Mafia or whatever the hell that thing is. Because the video just happened to be too big for me to load up this week. It was too big. But anyhow, yeah. We got any news on Mission Impossible? I think that was on the last video.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that popped up in the last one. So you might want to check on the last one, Iron Wolf. I don't think I dropped one last week, but it would be the week before. I think that was mentioned. But yeah, Valiant, any of those in there that were mentioned that you are looking forward to?
I have to go back. I mean, I've got so many on pre-order right now. I'm trying to remember what I don't have on pre-order. And they're all coming in over the next 2 months, which is kind of a pain. Well, I've got one coming in, I think, next week. Is it Hackers?
Might be. I know that's coming soon.
Let me pull up my list.
See, that's one of the ones where Best Buy got the steelbook from Shout exclusive. It looked like, and then same thing with Pumpkinhead. So
let me see here. Yeah, something goofed on my Amazon account. I got this weird thing that I got this huge refund. Now, it was from the regular Amazon thing, but I double-checked everything, and apparently something goofed up, and they were like, look, could you please reset your password? They did the two-factor authentication and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, okay, it's legit, so something weird happened. But, yeah, let me log in here again. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking at, you got it. I was gonna say, while you're looking at that, Greg, I was gonna ask him what he's looking forward to.
I like It Came From Outer Space and the other It movie. It
Came From Beyond. You're gonna get complete your It collection, I guess.
Yes, I like those movies. The Pumpkinhead steelbook looked pretty cool, actually. Thought that was pretty cool. I was trying to think of everything I saw in there.
I'm pretty sure I have both of those It movies already on Blu-ray, but yeah.
Well, at least one would be 4K.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Cool. I wouldn't mind getting Naked Gun on 4K. Red Dragon's not too bad. I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, Manhunt's good, or Manhunter's better, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, that needs a new Blu-ray release.
Yeah, it does. It does. And Sneakers on 4K when that comes, and that's pretty cool. So
yeah, speaking of Hackers, I'd say Sneakers is possibly the better version of that same type of story, but yeah, I mean, Hackers is fun though.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. So.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Sneakers. I mean, that's one of the ones that, I loved that movie. I can't believe more people didn't enjoy it. Last copy I have of that is actually, I believe, on Laserdisc. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I know I got a DVD. I'm not sure if it ever got a standard Blu-ray or not. I'd have to look.
I don't remember that it did. And if it did, it was probably one that I passed up because they were like, "Oh no, it's really not that good."
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it has. Oh, maybe it has in the past by Universal, so I might have it. Looks like an older one, possibly. So yeah, it needs a new upgrade, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, none of those really stood out to me, I guess. Honestly, I kind of lied in that thing. I was like, oh, great slate from Criterion. Actually, it's not very good. I think I already have the Last Picture Show on 4K from the Columbia collection.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I mean, of all those, the one I'm most excited for, believe it or not, is probably Mean Streets. As far as the announced ones, I'm kind of pissed about Megan.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, I bought it already on Blu-ray. They did the same thing with Cocaine Bear.
That's why I'm holding off on Renfield, because
I know, and I heard the same thing about Renfield.
yeah, because I really enjoyed Renfield. I thought it kind of sucks that these Dracula movies are flopping, but Renfield was fun, and I was going to buy it on Blu-ray, but then I noticed that Universal Cocaine Bear on 4K now, like 4 or 5 months later, Megan on 4K now, so I figured Renfield will get a 4K, so I'll just wait.
Yeah, I still have to see that one, and I really wanted to go see Last Voyage of the Demeter this weekend. I just didn't get a chance. I'm just moving a kid into college. I mean, the past few days have just been, well, the past week has been kind of nuts. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming y'all saw it, right?
I have not.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Renfield, I have, not Demeter.
You
no, Demeter, I haven't seen.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
no.
I really want.
I've heard mostly mixed on it, so
I don't care. I just want to go see it.
I know, which sucks.
It looks good.
So. It'll be on streaming before we know it, probably.
Yeah,
probably so.
They'll probably even go ahead of the 36-day or whatever it is window.
Oh, they might do a 17 if it really just kind of sticks.
Yeah, because then
again, it might hang in there and pick up a little steam if they can get through. If they can get into mid to late September with it, give it at least 45, 60 days, and just say, you know what, let's see what happens. But
maybe, but you've got, the third Perot movie with Haunting in Venice coming up here in 2 weeks. You've got
I know.
Equalizer or a month is on the Venice one, and Equalizer in 2 weeks. So I don't know, and maybe.
But I think Freddy's, man.
That's coming too, and that's the thing is, I think vampire movies have kind of run their course for now.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 2 Dracula movies flop this year, big time, and like I said, Renfield really made me sad because that was fun.
Yeah, Renfield was great.
More of.
Well, I know that was a Dracula movie, but that was kind of more of a zany looking. I don't know, but I mean, it wasn't a horror so much.
No, but it's still a vampire / Dracula movie, and this is the second Dracula movie to flop horrendously this year. Dracula hasn't had a good run of it for a while. I can't. Trying to think of the last hit Dracula movie probably was Bram Stoker's.
Well, yeah. Well, remember the marketing effort that was put into that, though, compared to what's come since then.
Yeah, but I mean, they tried to do that Luke Evans one where it was originally supposed to kick off the Dark Universe and flopped, and then they had Dracula 2000, which I mean spawned some straight to video stuff, but I doubt that did. I don't remember that like blowing the box office up or nothing back in the day.
Yeah.
But no, vampires have kind of run their course. I think zombies are close to being on their way out too for a while. These kind of Ethan Van Sciver brought this up once. There's like this cyclical nature to, the horror films and the monsters that we're into for the time. It's vampires, werewolves, and so on, and then it moves into zombies, and then the next phase is whatever's next. And it just moves down the line. So we'll have to see what's next. But yeah, I'm starting to wonder if vampires are done for now.
Might be. I'm all for a werewolf resurgence personally. So
Twilight and the what's the one where it is the werewolves versus the vampires? Underworld. Say that's probably the last 2 times you can really look at vampires and werewolves having any success.
Kate Beckinsale
in Black Leather. I just watched those movies.
Man.
The first 3 anyways.
Still looks so fine.
Even Morbius flopped if you think about it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It's Morbin time. It's vampires have had a long run, so I mean, if anything, they're the ones that outlasted all the other monsters. So it's due.
Kind of, other than zombies, really. I mean, but zombies are kind of late to the game. Yeah.
Twilight doesn't count.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the end of the road there, ain't it? If
Yeah.
you kind of think
Well,
about it.
that's yeah, but that's not a.
That's what killed the vampires.
It
Yeah,
really,
that's what I mean.
that was
It
not.
wasn't
That
sun.
was just.
It
That
wasn't
was
a
gay.
steak.
That was.
It was
just gay.
sparkles. Sparkles killed the
Totally.
vampires.
Totally gay.
Speaking of things being dead or on life support, we've got some news here that we're going to discuss here in just a moment. We got a super chat. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Crom's Devil, who says, friends and I agreed to see Enter the Dragon tonight for the 50th. We got the 4K, but haven't watched it yet. Any of you guys seen it yet? How is it? I watched a few minutes of it. It looks good. My main complaint about the whole scenario situation is there is no special features outside the commentaries.
Right.
And there was a bunch of special features on the special 40th anniversary edition. So where'd they go?
Exactly.
There's no Blu-ray in with it. But now if you bought the big box set, like I did from Arrow, that has the special edition Blu-ray in it. So basically I've got what I need, but for those who haven't, I've heard the iTunes version does come with the special features, but I have the Vudu version and it has no special features. So I can't speak to the other, whatever you use for your digital means. But speaking of digital means and like I said, things dying, it seemed like DVD and Blu-ray were dying a quick death. That is until this news dropped. Isn't that right, Valiant?
I guess you're referring to what a certain retailer is doing.
Yeah, I mean, we had kind of heard that once Walmart had started slowing down their sales and space or shrinking their space for Blu-rays and DVDs, that DVDs and Blu-rays might be going bye-bye. But that may not be the case. Is that what this article is telling us here, or are we hoping too much?
Well, it's definitely a sign that points in a decent direction. I mean, it means that there's an effort there. And part of me wonders, well, we can read through it, but
yeah,
part of me wonders that Walmart may be seeing a void being left behind. That other retailers, I mean, if places like Best Buy and Target, hell, even Circuit City doesn't sell these anymore. But I'm chink. But
I say, where's the last Circum City left?
Yeah.
Is there any?
No, that was the joke.
I was gonna say
Circuit City ain't selling anything anymore.
More like ghost cities than they are Circuit Cities now.
Spirit Halloweens.
Maybe Walmart sees an opportunity
Spirit
here.
Halloween. What's funny is this article comes right on the heels of I noticed a shift in the sales.
Mm-hmm.
We have had an uptick since COVID that we've discussed in the past. I think there was a little bit of a dip here this late last year, early this year. I can't remember which, but I noticed in the breakdown of sales for the first time in history, DVD has fallen below 50% of all sales. From my recollection, I could be wrong, but now I believe 4K and Blu-ray have now taken up a quarter each of the market. That means I think there's been an uptick in 4K UHD sales is what I'm getting at here. And DVDs are finally starting to fall off a little bit. Do you think maybe that has something to do with it? Because Walmart is DVD's biggest retailer.
Yeah.
Oh, by far.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? I just did a video about whether, because somebody sent me an article saying DVD should have been discontinued years ago. And
I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah, it's like so I did a video on that, and like overwhelmingly people were like,
logic behind that. What was
they were saying the logic was like, since VHS went out when DVD came in, and when Blu-ray came along, shouldn't the DVD have gone away, and that way Blu-ray sales and all that would be better today? And I was like, I could see where you're coming at, but like, just read through my comment section on that video. People will tell you straight up why DVDs are still, because like nobody was in favor for that guy's opinion at all.
No, I mean I love Blu-ray and UHD better than DVD. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that
there's still millions more players.
Yeah, the DVD market is just as big as the VHS market was at its height, I'd imagine. And at this point, like you just said, Valiant, most people don't have a Bluray player, and if they do, they don't even realize it.
There's probably 5 times more people that have DVD, or 10 times more,
Yep.
maybe. I mean, and the other thing is this, is that, I mean, most folks don't upgrade with every new
No.
format. Now, it's one thing when a massive generational event happens. And by that, I mean, we had VHS and Betamax, VHS 1. The next big thing after that was DVD. Even though Laserdisc was in there, and it too obviously was an optical format, it was an analog optical format. It was superior in every way, but it never really caught on. DVDs came out. People were already used to a CD at that point.
Yep.
They had the same size disc that could fit 100 times more data on it, and they could put movies on there. So it's like, hey, the next CD player you buy, make it a DVD player, and you can watch your movies on there. It didn't
With a
take
minor
long.
leap in resolution as well, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you go to Blu-ray, people are like, well, wait, I got one of those disc players already. This isn't like VHS, where it's like you're taking a cassette tape and you're trading it in for a little thin disc, a coaster. I mean, that was going from the cassette tape to the CD. This was the video cassette tape to the DVD. It's the exact same transition. People could see the uptick because you went from VHS to DVD. It was like, holy shit, in most cases.
Yep.
With this, you're trying to tell people, yeah, Blu-rays are better, 4Ks are loads better, but what they see for the most part is still, they see a disc that looks exactly like the DVDs they already got. They don't, there's no visual cue. It's not like a big clunky cassette going to an optical media. It's just one optical media to the next step up in optical media. I don't think.
I mean, we could argue, you know,
and
left
especially with streaming coming in, the streaming convenience factor that coalesced with, you know,
and the
going to
quality
4K
of streaming has now caught up to Blu-ray. Basically, I mean,
Yeah.
we could argue some bits and depth rate and all that kind of, like, we're not going to get into those semantics, but you're right, Valiant. The average consumer does not really notice the difference between Blu-ray, DVD, or 4K.
My business partner, I mean, somebody I've been working with and friends with now for 15 years in business together, running our firm. He is the same way. He is the average consumer. I am, like you guys, I'm the guru. I'm the physical media guy. I want 4K. I want, I want to enjoy my movie watching experience. He is a massive Lord of the Rings fan. He'll buy anything that comes out on Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, dude, you need to get the 4K of Lord of the Rings. You need to get this. It took me years to convince him to upgrade to the Blu-ray of it. I can't see a difference, all this kind of crap. Same thing with 4K. He don't have a 4K player. He probably will never have a 4K player because he's one of those guys, I don't get it. I don't see it. He's still working on a clunky old TV. He don't care. That's the average consumer.
Yeah, and there's the separation. And not only that, there's confusion involved. Like, even though arguably it has gotten much easier as a consumer if you have a Blu-ray player or a 4K Blu-ray player, most nerds like us know it's backward compatible. But guess what? A lot of the average consumers don't. You would have been surprised at how many people I ran into when I worked in the video store industry still that thought they had to upgrade all their discs to Blu-ray or the player wouldn't play them. And I had to tell them, I'm like, no, not only does that Blu-ray player play your old DVDs, it'll probably upconvert. Most players have that capability, and it'll still play your old CDs. See, some people didn't even realize that those players could still play CDs. In fact, most Sony players that people don't realize will play SACD.
Yep. Which
is a high fidelity or a high definition audio format, basically.
Yep.
So, like, that's the thing, is a lot of the home consumers don't understand a lot of times, what their players can do, what they're capable of, and or have their TVs set up or plugged in correctly either. That's the other thing.
Big thing. They're like, well, I got this, and it's like, there's so many places I went to over the years when I worked in that industry, setting up home theater stuff. And even back then, it was like, you have this multi-$1,000 TV, you have this really expensive sound system, and you had your video source hooked up with an RG59 coaxial cable Channel 3.
Right.
You know, it's like, what the fuck? Like, when is
Not even AV, right?
Dog
Like,
it.
yeah.
Man,
I gotta turn it to channel 3, right?
I'm like, bro.
That's as
Like,
bad as when I would always fix my friends' TVs because they either would have, in the early days, it was everything was squished,
yeah.
right? So they didn't
Yeah,
have the format
anamorphic.
right.
Yeah.
And then the other times it would always be they have that. Then it was the motion smoothness was the next thing. Well, now luckily most models come with filmmaker mode on, so you don't have that problem. But you have no idea how many times I had this ex-girlfriend. I swear to God, her mom drove me nuts because every time I go over there, I'd gripe about the motion blur thing, and she'd go, "Oh, well, turn it off. I don't know how to mess with the TV." And I swear, every time I come back, she'd manage to turn it on some fucking how.
yeah.
She claimed she didn't even know how to do it, but yet she would still. And it was like, oh my God, it would drive me nuts every time. It's like, I
Probably
fixed
because
the
she
TV
would go and
last
it's like,
time.
I don't know what Tom did, but I'm gonna hit this
I
button.
know,
It says,
right?
I'm gonna hit the reset button.
I'm
on the
sure
TV.
she was just being nice and appeasing
Yeah.
me at the time, but like, yeah, when she goes
I'll
back,
tell you right now,
yeah.
she probably had no idea how to turn that back on, and there's probably like a reset to factory
Could
button on
be.
it. She knew in the menu reset all settings. She's like, oh, good, I got rid of what Tom did. You know, it's like
Could very well be.
especially when you turn that on, you get used to it. And it's like, oh, look how quote unquote clear it looks. You know, that whole thing.
You listening, Yellow Flash?
Barf.
Him and his damn motion smoothness.
All
All right, well, let's read this article here. When
Some
you get,
things it works on, most things.
and I want
it
to say
doesn't.
hello to everybody. We have like
Yeah.
a record audience tonight for 4K for you. Thank you for showing up, guys. Considering we didn't even do a show last week,
I don't
That's
even
great.
have the YouTube thing open. How many we got? I can't.
We got
even see it.
273 watching right now. Normally we have around 200 if we're lucky. So
Holy
thank you
crap.
for all the new faces
awesome.
tonight. Yeah.
Also, smash that
I
like.
guess I gotta
Share
turn
it
the
out.
chat on here.
Yeah, let's get into this article too when you're done there because it's not very long, but I want to
Yeah, no,
I
I got
want
it up.
everybody to know. So for those who don't know what SDS is, it's the I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but it's basically the company that handles almost all of the distribution now for discs. Like if you flip over most of your Blu-rays and DVDs, they'll have little SDS symbol at the bottom.
It actually says what it is.
It's
in
like
our-
something disc services. I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
I think it's blah, 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 blah. Studio Distribution Services.
That's it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty
Yep.
sure that's it. So,
Hey, we got the Renegade Junior in the house.
oh boy, he just walked in here. So, oh yeah, I have something on in the background. All right, so let's go with this. So, Studio Distribution System is said to be in talks over managing DVD, Blu-ray, and disc business. This is with Walmart. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, reportedly in talks with Studio Distribution. Oh, there it is right there. SDS about helping manage parts of its physical media business. Despite cutting back its floor space allocated to discs by about 20% late last year, Walmart remains the single largest retailer, or the single largest retail seller, of DVDs and Blu-ray discs, with an estimated market share in excess of 45%. Let's stop right there. Can we take that in for a minute? I mean, Walmart, DVDs and Blu-rays, and I would assume perhaps ostensibly 4K discs are included in the Blu-ray with an estimated market share in excess of 45%.
Right.
That is bonkers. With
It's
discs,
insane.
yeah, generating about $2 billion in annual consumer spending, folks. That's at the retail level. That would value Walmart's disc business at about $936 million. Almost $1 billion a year in physical media sales go through Walmart alone. It's like that to me is stunning because I would have thought that would have been Amazon, but it just goes. to
No,
show
no,
you-
this is what I was saying at the
Yeah.
top of the show because I mean, think about it for a minute. 50 up to this recent earnings thing that they put out, the graph has always been like well over 50% in the DVD sales, right?
Mhm.
Walmart is the number one for sales of DVDs. So that means they're taking up a big chunk of the market. As far
yeah.
as Blu-rays and 4K, yeah, I'm willing to bet that between Amazon, Best Buy, and probably who is it that does Criterion half price sales? The bookstore,
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. I almost
Yeah.
said Borders. That's how old I am.
How
Barnes and Noble.
about that
Barnes-
Books a Million? Yeah.
That used to be Amazon before. Like, yeah, they bought them out.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So like Barnes and Noble's, Best Buy, and Amazon probably handle the rest of the sales, I'd imagine, and then the rest is kind of just scattered
And
percentages.
again, we're presuming
Yeah.
that they're putting all physical discs in that category, like
Yeah.
including 4K. So
No,
But
well,
I'll
they
tell you-
actually split it up in the one I saw, and that's what I was saying is like a quarter of it was pretty much Blu-ray was like 26 or so percent. 4K UHD was in the 20 some percents too. DVD was 48%. This is the first time DVD has ever fallen less than 50% of the sales of total disc sales.
Yeah.
So of all total disc sales, that's I mean, Walmart still probably leads everybody, but yeah. Anyway,
well, that's probably because for DVDs, there's fewer people buying those because of the two more recent formats, number one and number two. Also, streaming coming into play. So if people are basically buying discs, there's more of them gravitating towards the higher end formats. And the other thing too, I'll tell you is this: think about all the people that still have to have DVDs because they might have a vehicle that was made 10 years ago that has a screen for the kids to watch. Mm-hmm. Most of those things, even a few years ago, didn't have Blu-rays. They were still just DVD players. Yeah, they did not have that.
Well, and most of those, if you have that small of a screen, you don't need a freaking Blu-ray.
No,
anyway.
And that's why it was like even vehicles you were buying 5-6 years ago, you get it's like we got a media entertainment center. It's got a DVD player. It's like what happened to Blu-ray and 4K? You haven't put that in there yet. That's part of the reason people still hang on to those physical discs because it's easy to hop in the car. If you got a 5-year-old kid, you got. I'm gonna tell you what, because I was a dad that had this in my wife's minivan. She has one in there. It's a 2016 minivan, and it's got a disc player in it. It's not even Blu-ray, and Blu-ray came out years before that. When the kids were young, we had a library of. We never watched them in the house. They lived in the car. It was 20 discs of Disney movies and Barbie movies in the center console on physical media discs, DVDs that you just throw in when you got in the car on a road trip. That was it.
Yeah. That was the other thing too when we used to sell like the customers loved that they had the DVD and the Blu-ray together in the pack. Cuz that's what they would say is they'd put the Blu-ray up and then they'd let the kids have the DVD that cuz they always knew the kids like that was my thing too. My kid destroyed I don't know how many of my DVDs. Like people think I got like if I had all the discs I had from way back when I first started collecting, I'd probably have almost twice as many as I do now because my kid destroyed my Simpsons set, half my Disney movie,
Well, think about it, all the actual DVDs, depending on how they calculate this. Think of all the actual DVDs that get purchased as part of a set with a Blu-ray disc.
Well, there's that too, but again, back to the main point here, like Walmart though is the one place where I can see guys like us are ordering movies through Amazon. Duck Nation reminded me Target actually started selling more Blu-rays and DVDs than Best Buy, I think, a couple of years back, wasn't it, Greg? Because I think we were talking about that.
I think so.
A while back, but
that's not surprising because Target had the regular consumer traffic. People don't go to Best Buy,
and that's why I think Walmart's number one. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just getting to that very point, Valiant, is that the reason why Walmart is number one for sales is because of the traffic. You're there. They have the cheap $5 fucking DVD bin right by the registers.
Yep.
They're not stupid.
No, and Target did that too for years. And people go to Target and Walmart to shop for general stuff. People go to Best Buy because they're going there to buy an iPhone, a computer, a big screen TV. They're not going there to buy just general $20 items by and large. So anyway.
Yeah, and this doesn't even count like people like this, like John. Like, we're Steelbook people and whatnot, collector people. We're going to go the extra mile to get what we want from where, the best places to get it. But we're talking about the average consumer here. But continue with this short article.
Sure. SDS, Studio Distribution Systems, is the joint venture formed by Universal and Warner Brothers back in April of 21 to sell and distribute DVDs, Blu-ray discs, and 4K. In the North American market for both companies and their existing distribution partners. The venture is headed by Eddie Cunningham, a former president of UPHE. Sources say that Walmart issued an RFP, that's a request for proposal, and selected SDS. Walmart reportedly gives other studios and independent suppliers a certain deadline to come aboard. In prior years, at the height of DVD and Blu-ray discs, Walmart would appoint one studio to serve as a category captain, as they called it, effectively serving as a consultant to leverage data and market research to improve the overall category's performance. Sources say the SDS deal is broader and more hands-on and would include shipping and distribution. And that's key. So you're going to go to Walmart.com or you're going to go to a Walmart store. This is a turnkey operation for Walmart, retail and online order. Or at least in-store, brick-and-mortar retail and online. Walmart publicists did not respond to requests for comment. Cunningham would not talk about the deal. He did, however, say that while SDS, quote, was initially set up for Warner Brothers, Universal, and their partners, it was built in a way that would allow it to scale up easily. We believe that consolidation was inevitable at some point as the market matured over time. We wanted to be in a position where we could support moves in that direction, but only when retailers and other studios were ready for it. As long as there is retail support for the category in terms of space in the store, there will be meaningful business, Cunningham maintains. Helping our retail partners ease their operational complexity can contribute to a healthy retail landscape for our content. So this is, I mean, it really is, the studios are kind of coming together on this. They want to try to keep physical media running, or at least I think most of the major studios. Disney might be the one that holds out. They probably will be because they're stupid. Hashtag Disney dumb. But Warner Brothers and Universal, no surprise. Sony's probably, game for something like this. Paramount, why wouldn't you? Look,
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate. Throw
Clearly, Warner and Universal are on board already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You throw in all the mid majors, start throwing those guys in like Lionsgate.
I think they've actually been carrying a lot of Shout
Skydance
titles. And I've noticed that Walmart still does those special deals where you'll have all the weird, wacky, like box art and stuff like that. In fact, I almost thought about picking up the Smokey and the Bandit trilogy on Blu-ray because I don't know if the ones I got the imports and I'm like, I don't know if those are older scans or not. And I'm like, for $8 on a Blu-ray pack, I mean, fuck it. It'll be the 10th copy of Smokey and the Bandit I got, but the sequels, I could use, a good copy of.
Yeah, and I've noticed like they've started to branch out and like they mentioned the steelbooks, like they're going to have a bunch of steelbooks coming this Halloween. They just released, they were the exclusive ones of the Nightmare, the Freddy Robert England steelbook. Yeah, they were the only ones where you could buy that. So they're definitely still.
Yeah, and they had the Miami Vice one, and what was the other one they did? Street Fighter or something like that. Or was it? Yeah, there was. I say there was a few they had. Yeah.
So like they're branching out into that stuff. You can tell they're still into the physical media business side of things.
Well, it means that sales have gone up, I think, and they're noticing that. That's probable. It's funny. I'm looking at one of the Universal titles. I hear it doesn't have SDS label on it, but I know I've seen it on a million movies before.
But here's the thing: SDS was only done in 21. So if you got it,
I was gonna say this might be an older disc now. This is 2021. So yeah.
So then that's why probably going. I mean, anything that was pressed after.
I've noticed it on like everything, almost everything now. Yeah, except for some boutique titles.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's definitely interesting to see this because you get so many people.
Sony uses them too.
Yeah. Amazing. You get so many people saying physical media is dying. It's dead. It's not dying. It's not dead. It's a $2 billion industry. We just read it.
The studios are trying to kill it for some dumb reason.
For the stream. I feel like it's just
they're starting to wise up. I mean, we've talked about. I mean, these.
Didn't Bob Iger even? Yeah, I was just gonna say. There you go. If you want to address that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, no. These studios are starting to realize. Bob Iger even said, we've got to re-examine our windowing system here. I mean, look, he didn't even have to say it on the earnings call. We've covered it the last couple of months because what have we noticed? We've noticed that things like, I think Little Mermaid had extended release. It was more than 45 days. Guardians of the Galaxy, more than 45 days. I think, and they're not just doing this with movies that do decent at the box office. I think they're pushing this out now for everything because they're realizing that, well, you know what? The movies that don't do that great, we could really recover more of our losses if we would just still window these things. Derp. It's like they're starting to learn the same stuff that Hollywood knew for 80 freaking years. Like they all just went completely retarded. I just do not understand it.
That pandemic era when everybody was forced to stay in their homes and like streaming hit it real big. They're like, and then once everybody went back to normal, are like, what's going on here? Why is everything all of a sudden losing it? It's like maybe because the old ways of selling things and the windows that you guys used to do were a lot better and you were making monies that way. It's weird.
That's it. Well, look, we're over 300 people watching. Y'all smash that like button for us.
Exactly.
Yes, that's amazing. But yeah, so this could be interesting.
Yeah, Y'all send
It
in
means-
some super chats too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
we can.
speaking of, we got a couple here. We got Cromsdale. Well, we got this one already, but thanks again. Lance Corporal Waffle says, "Long live the mini disc." Do
Okay.
you realize I kept using the mini disc when I was at Rookin' and Radio for long after it was like gone? Like they use that a lot.
Lance Corporal Waffles, I still have a mini disc player / recorder, and I still have like unopened physical blank media. From
Mini
Sony.
disc was very fucking versatile.
Yes, it was
Very, and it had great
awesome.
quality,
I loved it. I
great
really loved
response,
it.
and everything. Like, I mean,
Sony
honestly-
made some weird stuff, but that was a winner.
And I liked the compatibility of it. And you still got like 30 minutes, I think it was, on a disc.
I thought it was
Considering
a little
how
bit more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, I was
Maybe-
gonna say,
maybe
considering
so.
the size of them, I was impressed because, like I said, we used that for all our production at the radio station. It was amazing because I was like worried because when I started working, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to work with all the digital stuff. That was all right because I was at the top of my class, but oh no, it was weird because I had to learn mini disc, and it was real quick and easy and simple. And I was
Mhm.
like, it's like basically the same concept as cassette, but in a digital medium, and I could do so much shit. Like, I mean, and you could just sit there and do layering, and it was like you having a digital tool, right? You know, I could lay 12 layers on top of each other, but you wouldn't notice the degradation at all. Even though I was bouncing basically back and forth between two different mini disc players and whatever else, I was doing in between. It was just
Yeah.
insane because I was so used to like, I used to be able to do a few things on tape, but once you get to about second or third level, that original level all sounds like way in the background. Like it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
But mini disc was great for that. Anyway, fuck Google says I have found a lot of Disney Blu-rays at Big Lots. Now, Big Lots, when they go there, are those discounted to where those
Yeah.
aren't?
Yeah.
Those are like what do you call them? Liquidated sales. So those
Yeah,
aren't
Big
really
Lots
actually
usually is
counted in.
picking up overstock stuff many times. So not everything in the store is like that, but that's a lot of what they do. So I would expect. You find stuff at things like Hudson's Treasure Hunt and Ollie's and all this kind of places. Yeah, those are definitely, those
Dollar
things got-
Generals and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
that stuff got hucked out the window, bro.
even Dollar General ones. I think on the back, even though they're plastic and put in plastic, they even say that they're used on the back. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I've noticed. Yeah, this was one of the problems is that they weren't cheap, and that's just it. The players were not cheap either because the technology never really caught on by the masses, so
hmm
it just didn't catch on price wise. But so we're hitting that part of the show. Did you guys bring on something that you've watched this week, or you wanted to talk about it all? I did bring on something. I haven't watched all of the movies in it, and so I'm not bringing it this week yet, Greg.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show off my fancy Arrow
Nice.
Video Empire set here for those who may not have seen it yet.
Ooh, very cool.
It contains some of the earlier Empire films, including Robot Jocks. Was it Dragon Master? Yeah, Dragon Master dolls,
Nice.
Cellar Dweller, and Arena. So yeah, I've watched some of them. I still got to watch Dolls yet and Robot Jocks. But Arena is the one that suffers the most as far as the picture, sadly, and all that business. But that I'll get into when we get to your show. But no, the rest of them look pretty good. Robot Jocks is actually from a 4K scan. That looks really
Nice.
good. From what I'd seen of the few minutes, a lot of special features and a collectible book here too that looks like an old video magazine.
I love that.
But it's got a bunch of the posters and art, everything inside. You can see, not really, 'cause I'm not showing it too well. But yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah, I think it's going for about $89 ish. So you never know, you might be able to get it on sale. I don't think it's super limited or anything like that. It doesn't have any limited things on that.
I did hear there was only 500 left in the U.S.
That could very well be. I was gonna say I don't know how many they produced.
Yeah.
But I get your hands on it because I know Dragon Master and Dolls were out of and Robot Jocks were out of print,
Yeah.
and I think Cellar Dweller was as well. And Arena, I don't think ever been on Blu-ray before. And the reason for that is because what they got here to work with is really shitty. It's from a 35 millimeter print, not the negative, and it's off center, like the whole picture is off, and they even tell you that in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, weird.
And then they have the video version, which is also off. So that means whatever they did when they printed them off, the original inner positive must have been fucked up. And
Yeah.
knowing Charlie Band, he didn't want to spend the money to fix it.
Yeah. Well, Tim Hayes says that the negatives were lost long ago. So
Yeah, and then they don't have the negative anymore. So yeah.
that's funny. Is like I just speaking of Charles Band and Full Moon. Now I just got to see the new Demonic Toys Jack Attack movie before it was released. They sent me a screener, so yeah. So I got to see that before it comes out August 25th on their streaming service. But it's pretty good. I saw it. It's pretty good. So shout out to Full Moon. Yeah.
Is that your movie you're going to talk about, or did you have
No, that's that was a digital screener, but I did do a review on that. No, I actually watched a couple 4Ks this week. Nothing big, nothing like that, but some obscure stuff. Here's one I'm going to bring on tonight. Called The Summer of '84 on 4K here.
I think I have that, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I just got it from Vendor. It was on sale for $18 finally. This is a good one. This is one that does the 80s right. And I was glad to hear that, like, when they talked to the directors and the special features, it's like, no. The 80s weren't all neon and bright lights. It was lots of brown. So, like, it really nails down the 80s aesthetic. Yeah, it really nails it down. So, like, this is like takes like inspiration from Spielberg, Carpenter, all them. It's like gold, like the Goonies, Monster Squad. Yeah. It's like a group of kids. It's Rear Window. They think their neighbor, who's a cop, is killing kids, and so they go into it. But instead of like, if you've ever wanted to see like Goonies or like them, where like, well, there's no way these kids would actually go into a situation like this, and none of them would get hurt and win and be happy. It goes there. It gives you that nice little 80s vibe, like, oh yeah, like this is all the Stranger Things. No, then it gets really dark, and these kids not necessarily all going to make it out alive. You know what I mean? It's like they were saying, like, in Goonies when they stick Chunk's hand in the blender. Imagine if they actually stuck his hand in the blender.
Right, gotcha.
So it's really good. It's a very underrated movie, so I highly recommend Summer of '84. It's a great movie.
All right.
In third grade, I cheated on my history exam.
And the 4K looks great. So
in the fourth grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs, and then I blamed it on the dog. Actually, I don't have that one. I'll have to get that one. Yeah.
I love the scene.
So Valiant, anything you got to bring on and show us?
Nothing new this week. Like I said, I've got so much stuff on pre-order. It's all coming out starting next week. I really can't wait to see Hackers. Like I said, Sneakers earlier has got some stuff coming, and then I've got like Sleepy Hollow coming in September. I need to go digging and see. It's like, what am I missing? I did go back this past week, and I started watching things like that I really had not watched in a long time, especially since I got the new 65-inch LG G series a few months ago. So I'm like, oh wait, you know what I pulled? I was like, the kids had never seen it. I was like, come on, sit down. We're gonna watch Gladiator. Oh my god, I really. It's been forever since I watched that thing. And the 4K transfer on that is so beautiful.
I was going to ask, I have it. I've never been a huge fan of the movie. It's all right. But I know it came in that era of middling CGI, and when they were kind of starting to switch over from film to digital-ish.
It looks
a little
really
earlier, but I know it's shot on film. So, yeah, that's what I was curious.
Yeah, it looks really pretty. I mean, really pretty. I was blown away by how good that looked. I mean, I've watched it on other, and we got a lot of new folks watching. I've got two sets. I've got a 55-inch LG C series that I have in my office here right next to me, and then I've got in the den that I kind of renovated late last year with a new entertainment center, upgraded the TV. That's a G series. That's the gallery edition of the LGs. I mean, they're super bright. I mean, just tons of contrast on these things. I thought the C series looked great, and I'm like, they still do, but the G series are just freaking phenomenal. I was just blown away by how good that Gladiator film looked, and I mean, that goes for a lot of the films that I rewatch on there, because I mean, I've always got favorites. I think Hunt for Red October is going to be on my list for this week, because I haven't watched that in a while. I have not watched it on that new set, so that's going to be next up as well.
Yeah, that's the problem I always run into. There's like, oh, I want to watch this right now, but I've got this stack here of shit that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, look,
It's like-
I've got stuff. It's like I put it on the shelf, and still haven't gotten to it. You know, it's like it's one of those kind of things.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been there.
Well, there you
Still-
go. And I think you can get Gladiator with Braveheart in a decent price set, and so it's still pretty readily available. So there you go, folks. You can get your hands on that. Recommended by Valiant Renegade.
There you go.
Valiant recommends.
Well, that'll have to be a segment.
There you go. So yeah, anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we wrap this up? I know it's kind of short show, but we had a lot to talk about tonight. It was a
Yeah.
packed show at the same time. It's kind of weird.
It's awesome to have over 300 watching. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So thank you to everybody watching and everything. Yeah.
Go watch Greg's show later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
for
I-
you newcomers.
You are
who
doing your
don't
show
know-
tonight, right? I didn't just.
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
was
no.
correct.
Actually, this show will link to it afterwards. It doesn't start till 8:30 Central, but basically we bring on a few movies that we watched or other physical media type of things throughout the week, and it's usually Bragg, myself, and sometimes Runner. It
Yeah.
depends on if he's here or not, but Valiant, of course, is always welcome to hop in if he wants
Yeah.
to. But
You're more than welcome.
sometimes Robert Meyer Burnett shows up. Sometimes we have Austin from Canon Film Guide, and Steven's been on there a few times. The wrench we had in the chat here.
Yeah.
We've had Tim on there before, who also was, I think, in the chat here
One of
earlier
these days
too.
I'll get over there. Like 8:30 Central for me is either the
Right.
time that my wife's getting home, one of the kids are getting home, or usually, especially now that school's starting up, I'm in the car running around picking up kids from like things like dance and stuff. So that's always a hat trick. But
Yeah.
my second oldest, my oldest, I moved her into college this past weekend, and my second oldest she's set to go. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I need to go upgrade to her learner's permit here so she can get ready to start running herself around here in the next 6 to 8 months. So
Yeah.
hopefully
And
that will free me up a little bit more in the evenings
Yeah.
because she's
was
the one
gonna
that keeps
say.
me running around to pick her up at dance. You know. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yep.
Well, you're getting to that point where other than the two girls will be in college anyway, right?
Well, the oldest is in college.
Yeah,
the
by
middle
this
one's a
next year.
Well, the middle one's sophomore in
Oh,
high school.
Okay.
So she's got
So the
sophomore,
oldest
junior,
one is
senior.
just going to college. I thought that she was
Yeah.
already in college. My bad.
Nope, just started. No, like we just moved her in this past weekend. So
Yeah.
like when I
So you still
when I
got two in high school. Okay.
yeah, the youngest Renegade Junior's in junior high. He just started junior
Close
high.
enough.
Yeah. So no, when I got home to start this Sunday live show, it was, I think I walked in the door and sat in the chair, and it was maybe 45 minutes to showtime, something like that. So it was like, we just drove home for moving her into college. So,
Okay, I misinterpreted. I thought that you
Yeah.
already had one in college and one on heading to college, and then the boy was the only one left in school, regular school. But I guess I misinterpreted that. But all right, well, congratulations on that. You're
yeah.
one step closer to empty nesthood.
Yeah.
And you can
What's
buy all the
that?
toys you want.
What's empty nested? I
Trust
just
me,
I
it's
don't
amazing.
know. I don't know.
I love my child, but I also love my privacy and my quiet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, tell me.
I
I got
think
all
you're-
the room
no.
I need.
I raised my nephew. He went to the Navy, came back. Now he lives in my garage with his girlfriend, and then I got two
Oh, wow.
little ones. So
Shotguns work well
You
for
got
that.
a
No, I'm
house?
kidding.
No, you got a house full, huh?
yeah, so I wouldn't know what that's about.
Yeah, no, this is kind of like just the last couple of years here has been the first time in my life since my son has been an adult, basically, that I've pretty much been on my own since I was a kid. It's kind of weird. Because I either had roommates or lived with somebody or what have you. And yeah, when I got custody of my son years back, I got a place just he and I was the closest to it till now. And it was like last few years, it was like, oh yeah, I don't want to go back to living with a bunch of people. Fuck that.
I don't blame you.
I like people around, but yeah, I can play guitar at 3:00 in the fucking morning right now if I want to. So. The only person who gets disturbed is Sadie, and she's just gonna go. She's like, "Fuck that! I'm going upstairs and sleeping in bed.
I don't have to listen to this.
I don't have to listen to this." Yeah. And the cat, he sneaks out anyway. So yeah, so thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Great show, successful show. Join us later on Greg's program. I might hop over to the Screaming at Park Cars. That's over on Rumble now, I believe. It started already, but I'll probably head over there if you guys want to check that out on Comics Division's Rumble. Other than that, I'll be on Greg's show later on tonight. So Valiant, anything you got coming up?
Let's see. Had a video today, just kind of catching up on the write down on Willow, which the numbers finally came out.
They said 100 million, yeah.
100 million. That was before any post production. So yeah, figure that. So that's why I said about 150 for that, at least 350 for the Star Cruiser. That's $500 million. They've literally thrown out the door for Lucasfilm so far. Just wrote it off and canceled it. I will be having a bit of a box office update tomorrow, and then a few other things I'm working on, and then of course the Sunday live show. So, but yep, hoping to get confirmation of one of my guests that was supposed to be there last weekend. I know he had to reschedule, and hopefully he will be able to be there this Sunday. So I got to double check with him, but we should have a good time.
All right. Greg, anything besides the physical media show to look forward to, or you got dropped that you want to plug?
Yeah, I just did, like I said, I did the review of Demonic Toys Jack Attack, which I just watched it. So that review's up on my channel, and the show tonight. So that's what I got to plug.
Well, actually, I guess I won't probably be on Yelling at Park Cars. That doesn't start till just before your show starts. I thought it started now. I guess it's an hour almost. All right. Well, that is what it is. All right, kids, I'll see you on the physical media program. Take care of yourselves and each other. See ya.
Peace.